Hello viewers, this is Revealing Light Tarot, and today I wanted to read on two things because there's so much news coming forward in the news cycle that I think it's important that we have a look at what's actually going on. The two things I want to read on today is Kavanaugh and Manafort. So just let's take Kavanaugh first. As we know, Senator Feinstein has referred a letter that she has received, which she's been asked to keep it confidential. The person doesn't want to go public. She's referred that letter to for investigation, police investigation. Now, there is conjecture that the matter referred to in the letter regarding Brett Kavanaugh has to do with sexual misconduct in high school, a long time ago in his life, which goes to his character, I guess. So it's not really appropriate to we're not the judge and jury at this point in time, but there is a letter there. It's been serious enough for Senator Feinstein, who is a long-serving senator, one with a fairly I guess a good reputation for being appropriate. She's not prone to scaremongering. She is measured in her approach, and she has done the right thing in referring that on for further investigation. The thing that is interesting to me about this is that I've done two readings on Kavanaugh already. The first reading said that his nomination would be suspended. If it wasn't suspended and he did manage to get underneath the bar, because the bar's not very high in this instance, then there may well be a judicial impeachment when the Democrats took control of the House down the line. But my strong feeling, the second reading revealed that there would be something that would cause him really acute grief and anxiety. So I want to know: is this what we've all been seeing? Is this alleged sexual misconduct which would go toward his character? Is this what's going to say, okay, the nomination's being suspended? And I know you're looking. I'm getting the importance every day of what is turning up in the bottom of the pack, and yes, it is the devil. Again, that may well be significant to this reading in terms of, Kavanaugh may be chained to his past, I guess. When I asked before the reading whether the nomination would proceed, I really got a no. I got a no. I'm loath to sort of be too predictive here, but I have to. I always think that nothing's ever black or white. There are shades of grey always. So when we do get predictive, we cut ourselves off from other avenues of thought. So I try not to be too hard and fast about my predictions, other than to say this is the intuition that I'm having. These are the intuitive feelings I'm getting. But I did actually get a no, that his nomination will be suspended. We'll see. But let's see what the cards have got to say before we move on regarding Kavanaugh. In light of this letter coming forward, will Kavanaugh's nomination proceed in the Senate, or will he be voted down? Will he have the required votes, or will his nomination be suspended or not proceed, or be voted down, not make it through the Senate? Okay, let's see. Will the Kavanaugh nomination be successful? Okay. I'm just getting an image of Brett Kavanaugh being quite inconsolable. He's really, really upset, and somebody is comforting him. It doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. He's definitely being comforted by people around him. He's getting support, and he's not looking happy. It's not a celebratory vision that I'm getting. All right, let's see. Okay, the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is about self-assurance. And if we look at it in the past position, it may well be that Kavanaugh and co, shall we call them, were quite self-assured coming into this into this process. They had a plan, they had a strategy, and it it could also mean as well that there were. We talked about that there's an alleged sexual misconduct. It could well be women preparing in the past to come forward, thinking about their options about how to stop this nomination. It could well be that woman that has authored the letter, if indeed we don't know much about this at the moment other than that there is a letter. However, there is conjecture it's come from a woman, and it relates to sexual misconduct. So I see that card as perhaps both things. I see that that there was definite confidence and self-assurance about Kavanagh's nomination when we started the process. I also see it as a gathering force, perhaps, of women who were not prepared to let this nomination go through. They were going to stand up to the plans in the past to put Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court. The Two of Wands. It's interesting that we're getting a lot of wands, wand cards here, which of course are all about plans and strategies and motivations and projects. And the Two of Wands is very much waiting for results, making a choice, considering options, and to me, and planning. But in this sense, I see that that the senators are actually considering their options now. This nomination's not a done deal. It may have been 2 days ago, 3 days ago. The Republicans may have thought they would push it through the Senate. They only need a majority. They already have a majority. Susan Collins, we thought may go against it, but she's come out and is quite, I guess, railing against the pressure that's being put on her, and that's fair enough. But I don't think that the Republicans are at all confident now about this nomination, and they are actually waiting to see what is actually going to happen. A day in political life is a long time. They're waiting for the results of perhaps whether or not the investigation will proceed. They're waiting for information on this letter and its contents, and they're making choices. So the Kavanaugh nomination is not self-assured at all. Okay, the Ace of Swords would lead me to believe that this is a new conflict coming forward, and it's requiring action. So I see in the immediate future that there is some sort of action now going to be taken in relation to Kavanaugh's nomination. And if I just have a look at what that card is, we get the Nine of Wands, and that is testing the persistence of the Senate to keep going with the nomination. Let's just see. Here, we might just clarify this Queen of Wands and see what happens there, because that could well be the author of the letter there. Yeah, the Moon. Okay, so the author of the letter was keeping a secret hidden, and as we know with the Moon cards, secrets come to the surface. They're not always secrets that we like. So the secrets are coming to the surface. The Republicans are waiting now to see what the result of that letter is. They're waiting to see what the resistance is going to be. They're reassessing the Kavanaugh nomination. In terms of the, this is going to be conflict in the very near future, in the day or days ahead. They're going to actually going to battle this out, and they're going to persist over the next few days with the nomination. But what I really want to know, and I'll just clarify here with this other deck, what I really want to know is that nomination going to proceed through the Senate? Okay, the Queen of Cauldrons is telling me that this will be a victory for women, that his nomination will fail because of the support and the opposition, I guess, by women. Now, it could even mean that the Republican women will come out and stand up to be counted and vote him down. The Kavanaugh nomination, either suspension or defeat or judicial impeachment, will be a victory for women, and it may well be a victory for that that alleged woman who's authored this letter regarding sexual conduct. Wow, my goodness. Okay, all right, so that's pretty clear. All the readings I've done so far have all talked about Kavanaugh nomination just not getting up, just not going to proceed. Talked about grief and anxiety for Kavanaugh. He, in what I see, in my mind's eye, he is not happy. He's being comforted and consoled. There is that woman that may have come forward. The letter certainly that's being sent, and the cards, the deepening cards are definitely telling us that this will be a victory with the Queen of Cups. This is a victory for women. Okay, that's the Kavanaugh reading, or the Kavanaugh update. We'll call it an update. I just want to centre myself, get rid of Kavanaugh, and focus in on Manafort. All right. What do we want to know about Manafort? We want to know if he's flipped. Okay, so he's done a deal with the Mueller investigating team. What we're not sure of is whether or not it's a guilty plea or if he's actually going to turn evidence over to Mueller and made a deal. In either way, it's to do with his second trial. Okay, my feeling is it's not a guilty plea. Because, I mean, if it was a guilty plea, he'd be thinking that he could be pardoned by Donald Trump. That possibility's long gone now. America would not stand for Donald Trump pardoning Paul Manafort on the charges that he's facing. Okay, so let's see. Manafort. Okay. He's still resisting. He's still, he really doesn't want to turn over this evidence. But he is sort of cooperating. It's sort of like, it's like a compromise for him. He really didn't want to do it. But I'm getting that this whole thing is really drained him financially as well, and he doesn't have the reserves to go forward. He can't really count on a pardon from Donald Trump, given Donald Trump's precarious political situation at this time. He's running out of options. He's terribly arrogant, poor Manafort. I see him still, even in his situation, he's been jailed, he's still arrogant, and he's still, he's giving a bit, and then he's, coming back and not, and then he's giving a bit more. But the investigating team are wearing him down. In the end, he is cornered. So while he's being backing up, and still sort of, still being arrogant, still sort of not, still trying to stand his ground, he is approaching the wall, and his back is very much to the wall. So with that in mind, what do we want to know? Did Manafort flip? Is he going to flip? Is he going to flip? This is a man who does not want to spend much longer in jail. He's thinking of the jail terms. That's why I don't think it's a guilty plea. He doesn't want to be in jail. Okay, he realises in the end, if he hasn't realised today or tonight that he's cornered, he eventually will. This is just a process. The investigating team is wearing Manafort down. So will Manafort flip? Yeah. I'm thinking he will. Let's see what my Aquarian pack has to say. Okay, the Hanged Man. All right. The Hangman is really a good card. It is about sacrifice, and it is about being in a stalemate. I think this is Manafort. Manafort's on the cross of his own making, and he is suspended upside down. This is where he is. This is his position. He's tied and he's suspended on the cross. It's not a very nice image of Paul Manafort, but then, you've got to remember what he has done in the past. We already know he's broken the law. He's been tried and convicted by a jury on those counts. Okay, the Nine of Rods. To me, this is about it's about the boundaries, I guess, that Manafort's trying to sustain, but it's also about the Mueller team, and I think the courage that everyone on that team is displaying. I mean, they've had a president totally against them. They've had sections of the country. They've been maligned. They've been, this is about their courage. And they are working hard, and they're driven. They're driven. They want results. They're not mucking about. Okay, the Seven of Cups would indicate the choices that are currently before Manafort, and I guess. He's wavering. This is the impression that I got when I first came into this reading. He's not quite there yet. He's still wavering. He's not totally committed to turning over evidence to Mueller. He is still weighing up his choices. That card's in very much the immediate future. So let's have a deepening of the reading. So the Ace of Swords, of course, is about cutting through the issue and getting right down to the core of the problem. That's very much in the past, and that's I think again coming back to the Mueller team and what they've actually been doing. They've been cutting away to reveal the truth, and that's what's put Manafort on the cross. That's what's put Manafort in this situation. It is the dedication, I guess, and the mental clarity of the Mueller investigating team. They're going hard. They're going in for the long haul, and they've got Manafort very much in the hangman situation. The Nine of Rods, of course, is their persistence and their patience, and the Ten of Cups is very much about. I guess it's about that card is actually about family and about reunions and support, and it could be that Manafort is actually considering in where he is at the moment, where his mind is at the moment, or where he could be considering, right, his commitment to his family. He could be coming forward, or it could be the Mueller team may be using this in some way. Okay, that's a new possibility, that the Mueller team may be using Manafort's family and his commitment here against him in some way to get him to flip. I wonder what that is. It could well be the money trail. It could be that he has shifted money in some way to his family or to his wife, and that is being used against him now. That could be the thing that that is causing him to think about flipping. It's what they've got. It's not what they've got on him in relation to Russia or Trump or the Ukraine or money laundering. It's not that. It's what they've got on him in relation to his family. Wow. Okay. So the Page of Cups is, and of course, if we're looking at the Mueller team, the Page of Cups is about, working hard, being really studious. I don't know who's on the Mueller team aside from Mueller and perhaps some senior operatives, but again, I get this youth coming through. There's probably some young members of his team, or indeed the Page of Cups could be representing a fresh start, a new way, a fresh start coming through to these older patterns of behaviour. Manafort, I see those older patterns of corrupt behaviour. I see them in the very aging men in the Senate and in the Congress as well. And I see that the victory for America is very much driven by right-thinking people, of course, but there's also segments of the society by women and by the younger generation. And I think in Mueller's team, he's got some fairly strong young energy that's assisting these inquiries. So in the past, in relation to Paul Manafort, we get the Sixth of Pentacles. Now, this is about loans and debts, or it can be about loans and debts and receiving help. So in relation to what's put him on the cross and the evidence that Mueller is uncovering, he's uncovering these debts and these loans. He's uncovering the monetary help that Manafort was given by foreign powers in relation for the services that he provided, the influence that he provided. This is the Republican, he's been a campaign manager for the Republicans for quite some time. He's known as a Republican operative. It's quite, it's not surprising that this web of money that's coming out, this web of overseas money coming out that's connected to the Republicans, and indeed, I guess the Democrats should be examining themselves as well. But it was very much accepted that overseas interests would buy into the American elections. So in the present position, with what is concerning Manafort at the moment, we've got a very courageous, hard-working Mueller team that are working hard on him right now to get him to flip. Manafort is seesawing at the moment. will I, won't I, what are my options? Still very much arrogant, but I think the Mueller team has turned up something to do with Manafort's family interests, and perhaps how money may have been funneled to a family trust in some way. He is, and that's the thing that is going to cause Manafort to flip in the end. The Hierophant card is obviously all about judgment. So Manafort's, regardless of what sort of deal he's doing, he is going to be judged. But the other thing is that his actions are going to lead to the judgment of others. This is a court. So his evidence could be critical in indictments in the future. Okay. All right, so the Three of Wands, again, is about this teamwork that I was talking about, this on the Mueller investigation. Teamwork is what, and it's teamwork in relation to money is what is going to be responsible for Manafort, turning over the evidence, state's evidence. It's this hard-working Mueller team, and in relation to the Seven of Cups, Mueller's team is actually ensuring that Manafort, is put under really increasing pressure to make choices about how he's going to do things. He very much with my intuition when I started this reading, he was still seesawing, he was still arrogant, but the Mueller team have brought so much evidence. They've really got him, in every way. He is, he's bound, and while the last gasps of arrogance may still be there, there's no getting out of this for Manafort. There's no waiting for Trump to pardon him anymore. He's cornered. His back's against the wall. From this reading, I would say that Manafort is going to flip. That's the impression that I'm getting. And when he flips, it will be entirely due to the courage and the hard work of the FBI team and the Department of Justice team. And the critical thing that either will or has made Manafort flip is to do with his family. And in that regard, I think there's a monetary aspect of that as well. I mean, obviously he doesn't want to put his family through the ringer, and he doesn't want to be away from his wife and at all. He doesn't want to be in jail. But I still think that this is to do with money. So in some way, money has been provided either into a family trust or whatever. But it's the very thing, what's uppermost in his mind now is the impact on his family, and the choice that he will have will be to flip. I'll just clarify that Seven of Cups card in terms of him flipping. As I said, his back's he's still backing up against the wall. He's still a little bit, he's still trying to compromise. He's still trying to work out what choices he's got, in the future. And this is quick. The future's not 2 months off. The future is like a week, days. Yeah. Okay. Okay, yes, it is quick, and it is and before I pulled this, I just got this image of someone with their hands up saying "You got me," and the Chariot would indicate that that's going to happen fairly quickly. So this is new stuff coming forward. I think we'll be hearing within the next days or even weeks that Manafort has done a deal with the Mueller team. and this will be the start of these indictments coming through. Okay, thank you. I hope that was helpful.